going on, everybody? Welcome back to another page of the Playbook Sports Podcast. Coming to you guys going into Week 11 of the NFL season. Man, it seriously goes by so fast. I've been saying it for like the last 4 weeks, but it's genuinely like blink and you miss it territory. We're coming crazy. Alrighty, game picks, folks. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of the show here. Thursday night, we've got a good one. NFC East matchup. Washington at Philadelphia. The line's Philadelphia minus 3.5. Kind of a fishy line there. I don't love the hook. It was, when I first looked this morning, it was just 3. I was like, okay, I like that more. Washington coming off of a tough loss. Philadelphia coming off of an absolute thrashing. Addison, what are your thoughts on this game? I'm going to you first.
Well, I'm going to ride with Washington here. It was a close game against Pittsburgh and a really good defense, and I think that they'll be able to score points pretty much against whoever they play. They've pretty much done it against most teams. And Philly, it was coming off a division game against the Cowboys, just another one right back-to-back. I'm just riding with the Commanders with Jada Daniels. I love the 3.5 hook right there because I think this could be a close game, come down to the wire. That's pretty much what Washington's done all year against everybody. It's been close to the wire. I think Philly can score points, but give me the over in this as well because I think there'll be points galore. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you right there. I really do think Washington will score a ton of points. I mean, they just played Pittsburgh and scored 27, who I think is a top 5 defense right now. Philadelphia, I don't think is on that level, so I think they could score up to 30, but I still think Philadelphia is probably going to win this game, but it's going to be close. I'm rolling with Washington right here, just to lose by a field goal, I guess.
Yeah.
Jake Elliott?
Yeah,
Jake Elliott's going to kick the game winner.
He is clutch. He's a clutch kicker.
He is. Colin, I'm swinging it over to you as the resident NFC East fan here. What are your thoughts on this ball game?
Either whatever team loses, I'm going to be happy for after this game. I did say earlier, I think it was a few weeks ago, if it came down to these two teams, who has to win the NFC East, I think I would rather Washington win it than Philadelphia.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Just because recent history, we all talk about how much teams have been losing as of late.
Yes.
Washington's not on my. I mean, this year they're definitely on my radar. Jane Daniels is very promising.
Yeah, he does.
But as a Cowboy fan, it's always been Philly. The last few years, it really hasn't been Washington in that conversation. Now that might change moving forward. I say all that to say this: give me Philadelphia here. I'm hedging myself, rooting for Washington, but give me Philly. I do think they're rolling. Their defense has been playing decent the last couple of weeks. Granted, the level of competition hasn't been that high, but give me Philly at home. Tough place to play. Jane Daniels, first game there. We'll see how he does.
Sorry to jump you, but winners are first, pretty much.
Yeah, this is for first place.
You
do, which is huge. And next week, I plan on breaking out those division predictions again and talking about where we were right and wrong because it's gonna be a good time.
2 good division matchups in a row on Thursday night.
Oh yeah.
Thursday night's a dumper.
This week we've got some great football games.
Yeah.
As we'll get into the slate, we've got some really good ones here. Colin, I'm gonna ride with you on Philly. I like the way that they've been playing recently. I like the complementary style of football. And you look at their last few teams they've played aren't very good. Giants, they beat them 28-3. Bengals 37-17 in Cincy. That's a huge beatdown of a team who was rolling. Jaguars backdoor covered the shit out of that game. That was a blowout the entire time until they quit trying. And then they just blew out the Cowboys. I'm trying not to overreact to Washington's loss while also not overreact to the Eagles' win, like you talked about earlier this season. But I really like the home division team in this spot to win by. I think Philadelphia can just run the ball on anybody right now. Give me Philly minus 3.5 to win this game. It's going to be close. I mean,
31-27.
Yeah, the spread here is saying that these teams are very equal, and I totally agree with that. This is for first place in the NFC East, and Eagles can't lose this one, man. At home, if you lose the home game of this matchup, you're in trouble for this division. So I'm going to go that, and we'll go with a split on that one. Next up, NFC North matchup. Green Bay Packers going to Chicago to take on the Bears and new offensive coordinator who he was in Carolina. What's his name?
Thomas Brown.
Thomas Brown. Didn't he lose play calling duties last year with Bryce Young?
So Reich had him. He took him over, and then he retook him back.
Took him back.
And
Okay.
I don't know if he got him when Frank Reich was fired. I think he did, but I'm not sure. But it wasn't just all him calling plays, but he did last year at least.
So I can't call this game a new coach bump like I like to, which, by the way, I didn't even talk about this. Shame on all of you.
Yeah.
It's like you guys don't listen to anything I say. It's like they don't get it. Saints, new coach bump and a home division dog, and I'm the only one on them. I'm disappointed, first of all. But I don't know if I can give Chicago the new coach bump here.
They got
because
1
it's
point. 'Cause I thought I saw 6.5 earlier yesterday, right after the game ended.
Yeah, I did see it at that as well. It's moved. And
OC gets him 1 point?
gets him 1 point for the new OC. The problem, though, is that he's going to run the same offense, and that offense hasn't worked. That offense that was designed has a lot of guys in the same place at the same depth. It's like one guy covers 2 on those defenses, and Green Bay is damn good. They're a very, very good team. They didn't play this weekend, did they? Coming off of a bye. Yikes. That is scary. I'm going to take Green Bay on the road here, minus the 5.5, because Green Bay does, unfortunately, own Chicago. They have owned Chicago. 10 straight. And Chicago is in the mud right now. I mean, they're 4-2 to 4-5, staring down the barrel of a lost season, and they need it. This is a must-win game for Chicago, but so was the Patriots game. Yeah. So I can't keep saying that every week. Now I will say Chicago at home is a lot better than Chicago on the road. Well, but I'm gonna take Green Bay here. Colin, swinging it over. What do you got?
Last week.
I mean, yeah, they just got blown out at home to the Patriots.
Oh, that was in Chicago. Okay.
Yeah, it was.
I'm sticking with Green Bay.
That does not change.
Doesn't change.
Didn't really talk much when we talked about the Bears earlier. Just what happened from Williams throwing 4 touchdowns in London to a 4-2 Bears to the bye week to 0-3 after the bye week offense scoring 27 total points in the last 3 games. That's one touchdown offensively. That is rough. Green Bay off the bye. I love Matt LaFleur, as we all know. Mm-hmm. So you give me the rested team off the bye with a better coach, better quarterback, better roster, Papa John's.
Better ingredients.
And you just look at recent history as well. I mean, they just own the Bears. I mean, they just own the Bears. Rodgers gave the key to Love once he left, and he was driving it. So give me the Packers minus the
one hand in that whip. I'll go to Sage.
Also, if you want a free bet, first quarter Packers spread, because the Bears just can't score in the first quarter.
Score 10 points all year.
And I'm assuming LaFleur's going to have a pretty good script coming out of the bye week.
100%. Yeah, it looks like Green Bay is going to their vacation home for this week in Chicago, a few hours south.
Started building a new stadium.
That's right, you gotta move out.
They gotta sage the place or something. They gotta do an exorcism at Soldier Field, because right now Aaron Rodgers' ghost is just haunting them.
Yeah.
But no, I absolutely agree with you guys. I'm gonna go roll with Green Bay here as well. Sorry, Addison. I'm sure you'll understand.
I'm probably riding with you.
Oh, okay, cool. No, but absolutely, they have 4 good wide receivers, and the only thing that that the Bears cannot do is control the clock. Yeah. So
true though.
They cannot control the clock. So with all 4 of those receivers, Josh Jacobs, Jordan Love, I feel like Chicago is probably going to get this ball like 22 minutes the entire game, I'm predicting. And with that happening, I think it'll be a lower scoring game, just because I think Green Bay is going to be like, hey, let's take care of business and get out of here. So I'm predicting this to be like 20-12, 4 field goals for Green Bay or for Chicago. And give me Green Bay minus 5.5.
That's an improvement after last week.
It's
or 1 field goal.
Just because it's a divisional game.
Yeah.
Right, you guys are going to get up for Green Bay.
Yeah, this is a tough one.
Get up this week. When can you?
I will say this. Sky is obviously falling, rightfully so. If they win this game, boy, Bears fans are going to be talking so much shit. We've been terrible, and we beat Green Bay if they can, obviously. I'm taking Green Bay minus 13.5 on an alt spread. I'm taking Green Bay as my pick here, minus 5.5. I'm serious. Minus 9.5 alt spread, I think, really slaps. 13.5 probably slaps. I just don't see how the Bears can score. Their offense has been pitiful. The line is really bad. And when Caleb does have time, is he seeing ghosts because the line in front of him is so cheeks? He's developed.
He has 4 seconds of time.
He has developed bad habits. It's tough. And then obviously concepts. We'll have to see what Thomas Brown does for the offense this week. Seriously, big time spread. But again, if Bears win this game, I'm not going to be saying we're back because we still got tough. But if they win this game, there's going to be so much shit talked. Caleb, man, you can go 1-0 as a Bear against Green Bay.
Yeah, come on.
Please, man.
Bears fans will never forget it.
Please. I know, this could be his one win in his career against Green Bay, and they will not stop talking about it. So please, Bears, somehow, some way, do something crazy. I know the line's big because they're on the road. I think it should be bigger. And why isn't it? 5.5. It should be higher. The Bears are trash.
Is Jordan Love playing? Is that the question?
I think so.
I'm sure he is.
The Bears are dog shit, man, and they 5.5.
Who was the backup quarterback a few years ago that beat the Packers for the Bears?
Oh, I don't know. It had to have been a while. It's been 10 straight.
Oh yeah,
it's been a minute. Every Bears fan would.
It's been like 6 years at least.
The last win was fucking Mitch in 2018 for the division, and then before that it was a hot minute as well. So I mean, it's ugly. It's ugly. I mean, the fact that Bears fans, sorry to go on a tangent, but they hold on to the fact that we beat Green Bay on Brett Favre's retirement jersey night, and it's like the Bears are trash, and they somehow thrashed the Packers in Green Bay. It's like, of course, it's the one time they can compete. But yeah, give me Green Bay here. Seriously, minus 13.5 is going to it.
Yeah, last thing on the Bears before we move on, and probably don't talk about them again until we get to Mortal Locks. I hate seeing Caleb Williams get sacked and the defensive player helps him up.
and patted his fucking head.
Right, like a little boy. Like, it's okay, little buddy.
They kept showing it. I was like,
I
that's
know.
such a bad look.
I hate that. Where was the offensive lineman? Get him up.
Yeah, and
Get your quarterback
don't let the
up.
defender do this to your fucking
Quarterback.
quarterback.
And just little brother the shit out of
Anyone
him.
doing that to Mahomes? No. Is anyone
No.
doing that to Lamar? I understand they're veteran guys at this point,
No.
but it's like, it's still the premise of you. That's your
I mean, the
fucking
disrespect
quarterback, man. That is your
from
quarterback.
that's what concerns me the most was when I saw nobody on the offensive side jump to help Williams up off the ground after he's been sacked 9 times by a Patriots team that had 16 sacks on the season.
No more than 3, and then 9.
16 total.
And it just goes back to when Matt Nagy, there was a game against the Saints, Tariq Cohen got bodied by the Saints, and they were doing this.
Doing the
and
little
this
man
and
thing, yeah.
No, and I understand there was some chippiness later, but no one went over and bodied him. Take a personal foul.
Yeah.
You're letting your teammate get punked on national television.
Yeah, can't have it.
What are we doing?
Can't have
bad.
it. Yep. All right, moving on to a game that concerns me with the spread, but then you think about it, it's not so bad. Jacksonville at Detroit. The line is Detroit minus 13.5 points. Biggest spread of the season for any one team by a long shot. Sage, I'm going to start with you and your Detroit Lions. Thoughts?
Yeah, this spread doesn't concern me at all. Give me the Lions. Sorry, but I really do think this is about to get ugly. Yeah. I mean, they are still without most of their weapons right now. I mean,
And it might be McCorkle at
Yeah, I was saying,
quarterback.
yeah.
Lawrence even playing.
Is Lawrence even playing? Is Mac Jones even playing? I mean, who's playing? I know who's playing on the Detroit Lions side, and they got studs.
Yeah.
You know, they got guys that are going to not only lock it down on defense and stop them from scoring, but they figured it out midway through the game last week, and they were like, oh, we got shut down. Let's just put up 20 in the second half or whatever, you know? And then they can do that for both halves this game, and I don't think Jacksonville scores fucking 14 points. You know, I think it's going to be really, really rough. Detroit does this every time they play a bad team, a.k.a. look back to when they played Tennessee Titans 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, just the
Look at when they played Dallas. Look at when they played. May I go on? I mean, no, I'm good. I'm going to Detroit minus 13.5. If it bites me in the ass, I'll live with it.
Yeah, that's one.
Yeah, Nate, just going to steal your thing. You don't think Jared Goff's going to be pissed off after throwing
on,
5
you
picks?
think
He's
he's
going to be
off?
pissed off and locked in. But then on top of it, let's also talk.
Play so much better.
Yeah, no, it will. I mean, he's gonna be seeing red, so he's gonna throw touchdowns. But he might. But then let's talk about Jacksonville for a second. Even if it is Lawrence, we'll see that. I'm sure the spread will come down a little bit, but not much. Last week, they picked off Darnold 3 times. They scored 7 points. First drive, or one of the first drives they had, couldn't do jack shit the rest of the game. Lost to field goals. And that is not a good sign. And I don't think Detroit's going to have a game where they turn the ball over multiple times like that. If they do, maybe once, maybe twice, not 5 from Goff alone. Maybe Detroit big time in a huge spread. I don't care. I'm going to say it's just going to get ugly in a big time game for the Lions just to continue to show, hey, we got it. It was one game that we still won, by the way, where we looked bad, and now we're back to looking great.
Yeah. I mean, you just look at the number and you're like, oh my God, 13.5 points. That's so many. I mean, that's 31-17. That's it. 31-17 covers that spread, and Detroit is going to smack them. Addison, a little spoiler alert for next week. The Jags might be the team we bring up about your division standings predictions. We'll see. Spoilers. We'll see what happens. But Jaguars fans, yeah, in tears because they're so bad. I mean, they're number 1 currently on Tankathon, if you're wondering. Mock drafts, they're the first pick in the draft right now, and that's not where you want to be.
Not to jump, but then Peterson in that presser. I'd explain it to you guys, but you want to understand.
But you understand. Okay, buddy. Okay, buddy. Are we sure that you understand what's happening right now? Yeah, Detroit played their worst game they could have, and they won in Houston, who's a better team than Jacksonville. Now we're in Detroit. Jared Goff's going to be better. I don't know anybody on that Jacksonville defense that can stop the offense of Detroit. I just don't know how you stop them. And Jacksonville can't do it. So give me Detroit minus 13.5.
Because Darius Smith probably plays.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, he should. That's more trouble for them.
He's out just because it was so quick. You know, it wasn't injured. They
Right,
traded for him,
right.
So it's like,
He'll be back. Yeah, he'll be out there. Colin.
Yeah, I'll be short and sweet with it. I think this is going to look like that Week 3 trip to Buffalo for Jacksonville where they got absolutely destroyed, 47-10. So give me the Lions in this spot with the 14.
I like it. Yeah, short and
Just
sweet.
what you said. I don't know how they stop Detroit. I don't know how Jacksonville's defense keeps them in this game.
I don't even know how they're going to score points. Detroit's defense has been excellent. I mean, this could be ugly. This game could be which means Jacksonville's going to win outright, by the way, because everything screams Detroit. Which, by the way, spoiler alert for me, this is probably where I'm going to be wrong on the division standings. I did not think Detroit would do this well. Holy shit. Next up, Minnesota at Tennessee. Current line, Vikings minus 5.5. I don't love it. But I haven't started one yet, so I've got to start this one. I am going to take the Vikings against Tennessee, but that's just mainly because I think Tennessee sucks ass. Like, they're actually terrible at football. And sort of, Sam Darnold's all the way back to Sam Darnold mode, by the way. He's all the way back, baby. We have got the real Sam Darnold has officially stood up, and he's not very good. But that defense is, and I just don't see Tennessee being able to score points against Minnesota. I mean, Mac Jones, former first-round pick, Pro Bowl quarterback, Mac Jones, baby goat, as I heard Patriots fans call him for several seasons, looked horrible. He was like 14 of 28 for 130 yards, 2 interceptions. I mean, awful.
I don't think he ever thought he was going to get off the bench.
Probably not. Probably
He
not.
went there because he was like, I'm just trying to go back home.
Yeah.
Right. I just want to be in Florida. It's weather's nicer. It sucks up here in New England. Everyone's mad at me. I will take the Vikings minus 5.5 here. Not love it, though, because Vikings have been kind of sus. Colin.
Love the rationale there. Same thing. I just don't trust Tennessee and Will Levis at all. Although a couple nice balls last week too on Calvin Ridley.
Terrible.
But once again, Brian Flores. Here comes a blitz special at your Will Levis. We're gonna see maybe 1 or 2 memes this week, I believe.
Least.
And Minnesota, with Sam Darnold struggling, I do think they still have the complementary weapons around him. T.J. Hawkinson, welcome back last week as well. Had a pretty big week.
Yeah.
So give me Minnesota with the 5.5, and I'm all over the favorites this week, and I'm scared.
I know. I hate it. I hate it.
I am riding with the Tennessee Titans and Mayonnaise Boy and Will Levis. Minnesota should be 0-2 in their last 2 games. Both teams they played did not win the football game, given the opportunities in front of them. I mean, good for Minnesota to win games you shouldn't. 2-0 is great the last 2 weeks.
Vikings should be 0-4 in their last 4.
It's tough right now. I mean, when you have production from Jettas and then you still can't score, it's like, damn, you can move the ball, that's great, but when it matters most, what happens? Like you said, Darnold has stood up, Nate, and he has showed who he really is. Tennessee is bad, but I just think this is going to be a gross, ugly game where Minnesota scores 18. And I can see Tennessee scoring 14.
Yeah.
Maybe even 15. Some weird field goal situation, and they cover. Give me Tennessee plus the 5.5, just because I think Minnesota's on the downtrend. And I said it on the pod last week. With the fact that news is coming out that JJ is traveling with the team and he's getting closer and closer, that shit wouldn't come out if they really believed in Darnold completely. I'm not saying they're going to hand the reins off if they're, in the playoffs to JJ McCarthy, a rookie, but watch out. If Darnold sucks, who knows?
Also, how nice of Minnesota to get 3 straight AFC South opponents.
Yeah, for real.
It's like, here's a nice little win streak.
Colts, Jags, Titans.
Right.
I mean, there's not anything.
All the bad ones, too.
Yeah, 3
Yeah,
bad ones.
Because they already
Exactly.
beat the show.
They
good one.
crushed the Texans. Yeah.
Fair. No, it looks like this is the Tennessee Titans table because I'm rolling with the Titans as well, plus 5.5.
I like it.
Yeah?
I've been red hot recently.
I mean, last week, what was it? They had 3 turnovers, didn't score a touchdown. They were the first team to ever win like that. I believe teams before that were 270 and 270. 0-270. Finally let it happen. That sounds like the most Sam Darnold stat in the world.
It does.
And I believe there's coaches out there right now saying, "Oh, what's Sam Darnold's success like? Why is he having success there?" And everyone's just like, "It's Jettas."
Yeah, it's Justin
know,
Jefferson.
it's
Jordan
Justin
Addison,
Jefferson.
Good
Yeah.
offensive line.
That they have weapons, but they remind me of the Seattle Seahawks about 2 years ago, and how we were all like, "Oh, the pumpkin's starting to come
Geno's
around."
resurgence.
It's like that, but accelerated to the max right
that's
now,
fast.
and it's happening so quick. I want to get ahead of it. That's why I'm going to Tennessee right now. They had some pretty balls. Calvin Ridley's starting to ball out right now.
Pretty balls.
Pretty.
Whoa.
Minnesota got some 5'10" corners.
5'10"
Only real ones know.
Only real ones know. That's right.
No, I think the Tennessee Titans, they have the run game. They have a decent amount of weapons. If Will Levis can figure this out, I mean, I really do think Tennessee is hot garbage. But they're hot garbage with a plan, usually. So I'll take Tennessee.
Some sort of plan there.
I'm riding with that.
They got concepts of a plan.
Right, there's an idea formulating somewhere in there. You got concepts of a plan. Yeah, and my biggest concern would be for the Vikings is that they only scored 12 points against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
How is that possible? How do you only score 12 points against them when the Jaguars have given up? Just look at their last few games. I mean, 35 to the Bears, 34 to the Colts, 16 to the Patriots. Ooh, good job. 30 to the Packers, and 28 to the Eagles. And then you can only score 12 points against that defense, man? I don't know.
Scored more against the Bears and the Jags.
Who did the Vikings lose to last week?
Vikings lost to nobody. They beat the Colts. They lost to the Rams 2 weeks ago. Yeah, they beat the Colts.
They played Jags last week.
And they played Jags last week
Sorry,
and just
they
beat
played
them.
so bad I immediately
Kind of forgot about them. I agree. Next up, we've got the Las Vegas Raiders traveling to Miami to take on the not dead Miami Dolphins. I already filed a claim with the We're Back department, waiting to hear back from them. So, line is Miami minus 7.5 points. Colin, I'm going to toss you the rock. What you got in this one?
Clearly not in the medical field, but the Dolphins are about as close to flatlining as possible.
There's still some beats in there.
There's still some beats in there, but they're not
Right.
quite dead. I do think one thing they have done great the last couple of weeks, I talked about it last week, has been their defensive effort. Zach Steeler is not a guy you want to see lining up across
so
because that guy
good,
is an
man.
absolute menace.
so mad we don't have him anymore.
Yeah, well, thank you for him.
He is an absolute freak show. We have 70-year-old Calais Campbell still
Balling
making
out.
impacts.
Chopped with another sack. Yeah.
You got a sack?
Yeah, that was two.
2 weeks in a row.
3 straight weeks with 3 pressures in each game too. He's right there. Here he comes.
He's right there.
He
He's back
has
as
a
well.
chop
He's right there.
celebration. The whole defensive line got together, picked up their axe, and chopped them down. I got
That's
hype.
wicked.
I got hype.
7.5 normally scares me, but I do like Miami in the spot here. Just the way their defense has been playing, their offense is
Slowly kind of getting back to it. So give me them with the 7.5 here. Still riding that favorites train.
Does it change your mind if Las Vegas is off a bye? No.
The great coaching and quarterback play.
Yeah, I'm on Miami here, and I don't like to pick them often with the spread. I mean, they suck against it this year, but Vegas is that much worse, and Miami's offense has figured it out. Tyreek with his wrist, I do hate the bullshit. Oh, it's because of the arrest
'Cause he
thing.
got
It's
arrested.
like,
It's like,
all right,
okay.
man, so that's why we've
Why
sucked.
haven't we complained about it all season?
Yeah,
then?
bringing it up now, I don't like that from him, but whatever. We move past that. Their offense and Tua look good. I don't like Tua throwing a pick and then trying to tackle a guy with his head lowered. What are we doing with that, Tua? Again, just don't even try to tackle him. Give up the pick 6. I'm sorry. I'm at that point in his
He's the
career.
only quarterback I'd be like, all right.
I watched a Bears season derail because Jay Cutler tried to tackle a guy on a pick 6 and broke his hand and was out the rest of the season until it was too late. And we're talking about Tua with concussions. Holy shit. But besides the point, Miami's offense is elite. Their defensive line's creating pressures. Las Vegas is in trouble. Miami -7.
It's so hard for me to take Miami right here, but I'm just looking at Las Vegas and I'm just like, oh, they suck. I'll just go with Las Vegas just for shits and gigs. I don't see anyone in Miami that's really going to stop Brock Bowers. I think he's going to be the center point of that offense. And hey, I'd love to see Miami's receivers actually get some work because Yeah.
had one drive at work.
Yeah, first drive, and then we drop that pass, and they're like, all right, you're done.
I almost texted. I'm like, wow, nice to see Waddle's back.
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
I
yeah.
saw the stat at the end of the game. It's like first drive.
55 yards, and then nothing.
Yeah.
Because he dropped that pass on 3rd down.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really understand what the process is behind Miami's line of thinking, but I mean, hey, you guys do you. But no, I think Miami is still competing, but I just see Las Vegas not wanting to give up for their coach right now. They still have a lot of pride left. I really think that Max Crosby is going to have a game against his offensive line. Yeah, so give me Las Vegas to just to cover. Just
Just got to attack Liam Eichenberg.
Seriously.
Just a question with you as the resident Dolphin fan, we all know. Is McDaniels, he's on the hot seat? No, I mean, he's 500 or one game above throughout, including postseason, his entire coaching career. They said that on the broadcast, but where are you at with that? Because I understand he accepted a weird spot and it was getting Tua going, and he did, but when does becoming decent not enough?
Not enough. Agreed. The only reason I'm saying he's not this year is because they just extended him this offseason. They just extended his contract by 3 seasons. So I would say no, and I would also say, like, it's like the old Colts coach said when they had Peyton Manning. I don't know who their backup was. They were like, why is Peyton Manning getting every single rep at practice? And he said, because if Peyton Manning's not out there, we're fucked. And we don't practice getting fucked. We don't practice that. So we don't practice planning without Tua. You should. That it's malpractice not to, but we don't. And you can tell when you look at who they lost to and how they lost to them without him. So you give McDaniels some credit there, and then you look at the tape of those games and you see open receivers everywhere, and Boyle like and Tyler Huntley not knowing what to do with the ball, and Skylar Thompson not knowing what to do with the ball. Please sign a competent backup. That's all I have to say. Also, real quick, camera right here. Zoom in. I'm zooming in. Future Nate, zoom in on me. Tua, if I ever see you pull that dumb shit again, I'm coming to Miami and I'm kicking your ass. I will hit you in the head myself. If you lead with your helmet again like that to tackle somebody and you take a knee to the temple, I'm done with you. You're done. That is the stupidest shit I've ever seen in my entire life. Just, if anything, just lay down in front of him, try and trip him. Yeah. Just
slide tackle.
Slide that. Yeah, take the penalty. Who cares? You cannot lead with your head. Oh my God. What are you doing? Oh, I was sick to watch it. I was like, well, that season, he's done. He's probably going to be concussed.
He the sideline, like right before he was like, Tua, just use your head, all right?
Just use your head. And he goes, bet, I can do that. Yeah, okay, all right, moving on.
One more comment about this game. I know we're
Yes.
very small fish in a big pond
Yes.
compared to Colin Cowherd and his
Correct.
show. But to think that Christian Wilkins was still
Yeah, what an
on the
idiot.
Miami
What an
Dolphins
idiot.
roster and not on the IR
On the
for
IR
the Vegas Raiders. Oh, I don't know. The interior of that offensive line for the Rams. Christian Wilkins, he playing tonight.
He's playing tonight. Hey, he's a problem.
I mean,
Okay, buddy.
That just tells me you don't watch ball.
Yeah, clearly,
It's
like,
one
he
of the
doesn't pay
richest
attention.
contracts acquisitions in the offseason.
Yep. Biggest, I think, arguably, other than quarterback money, biggest acquisition in the offseason and
That's a
free
bad
agency.
gap.
Yeah, that is ugly. That's ugly for him.
Get this guy in the Oval Office.
Yeah. He fits right in. Okay, I went on a tangent. Now I kind of lost where I was going. I know. I've kind of lost where I was going to go with this game and why I was going to talk about Miami and everything. I do think Miami sitting like 3-6. Yeah, haha, we're back. Genuinely though, we host the Raiders, then we host the Patriots. All of a sudden, you're 5-6, and you're like, okay, like this isn't done yet. We have the easiest strength of schedule remaining in the entire NFL with games against the Raiders, Patriots, Packers, tough one, Jets, Texans, Niners, Browns, Jets. I mean, several winnable games, several losable games, though, because you're 3-6. You can't really take anything for granted. It's good to see the offense rolling again and actually moving the ball. And we're, a last-second field goal in back-to-back weeks away from being 5-4 instead of being 3-6. Colts game, that fumble from Raheem Mostert when you're up 10-0. That was a backbreaker. Several games that we shouldn't have lost that we did. Now we're relatively at full strength. Zach Sealer, I didn't realize how important he was to the team until I watched what he did against the Rams and how dominant he was. And when we missed him against Arizona and the Buffalo Bills, they were able to run all over us because we didn't have him.
To extend him.
We already did. We paid him instead of paying Christian Wilkins. He got the contract.
Good call.
Yeah, he was much cheaper. So I like that. All that to say, I'm taking Vegas plus 7.5 points. I like Miami to win this football game. Raiders coming off by a little healthier. Max Crosby's going to be a problem because we're without Austin Jackson at right tackle, who's actually been solid. So it'll be Kendall Lam going up against him. That's terrifying. Hopefully Max Crosby wants the challenge and goes up against Tron Armstead, please, because otherwise it's going to be a problem. He's going to go against Kendall Lam and he's going to shove him to the ground. No Christian Wilkins is big in this game, but I do like Miami at home after playing 3 good games in a row. Cardinals game was a good one. Bills game was a good one, and we just won against LA. So give me the Raiders, but I like where Miami's trending.
Yeah, I don't think McDaniel should be on the hot seat at all because when Tua plays, your offense is elite.
Right, but then at the same time, it's like, okay, who's making the personnel decisions on the backup quarterback? And that's Chris Grier. That's Chris Grier's job. So I don't know if I like Chris Grier a whole lot, to be fair. Los Angeles Rams at New England to take on the Patriots. Line is Rams minus 4.5 points. Addison, I'm coming to you for this one. Thoughts? You just watched the Patriots.
Yeah, I know, and Drake May is not too shabby.
Not bad.
He makes plays, extends plays with his feet, and he's not afraid to let the ball sling, and it's what you love to see out of a rookie. Their defense, it looked great last week. I think it's because they're going against one of the worst offenses in football, so I'm not going to give them credit going forward. I don't think they're going to be able to create pressure like that again at all anytime this season. The Rams minus 4.5 scares me a little bit. I'm assuming everybody's healthy and good to go, and if that's the case, I'm on the Rams here. I just don't see how New England's going to compete against a competent team, and that's what the Rams are. The Dolphins were able to create some pressure, so the Rams' offensive line is suspect. But again, New England just sucks so bad, I don't think they'll be able to replicate it. I'm on the Rams here, minus 4.5 in Stafford to keep their playoff hopes alive.
I'm gonna roll on the other side. Take New England
He is the
2
New
weeks in
England
a
guy
row
on the
right here.
pod. You are the New England guy on the pod.
I hate New England.
Yeah, okay.
But I like Drake May. I like Drake May a lot. And with everything that's going on in the LA Rams defense, especially in their back end of their defense, I think Drake May is going to make just enough plays to cover. It's not like I'm calling them to win outright. I'm not expecting them to do anything crazy. But I do think that, hey, they could lose this game by a field goal. And it'll be I think this is a very watchable game and one of the more underrated games this week. They don't see each other often. And Matthew Stafford is underperformed this year. I think everything kind of evens out to a more even game than we're expecting.
Yes. The Dolphins had Matt Stafford in hell last week. No touchdowns at all for him. They were 3 of 12 on third down. Could not move the ball, and he had all of his weapons. Everybody was there playing. The defense just kind of maybe set out a blueprint on how to slow them down. That was a tough loss for the Rams. Yeah. In a division that's wide open, the Rams could not really afford to drop that game.
And I was like, how are there this many field goals
in
this game?
Yeah. They could not get in the end zone. And then you look ahead for them. They've still got the Bills, Niners, Cardinals on their schedule. They've got the Eagles on their schedule. They've got some tough games. They really couldn't afford to lose that game to Miami last night, and they did. Oh, but do I want to take the stinky Patriots? That's just disgusting. I'm going to because they're at home. And I like the way New England's defense played. And I think that Gerard Mayo maybe looks at what Anthony Walker did. Not Anthony Walker. Dolphins defensive coordinator. Why can't I think of
Weaver.
Weaver, thank you. Anthony Walker's our linebacker. Anthony Weaver. I think you can look at what he did and kind of be like, okay, this is how we're going to play against the Rams and their makeshift offensive line. So give me the Patriots at home plus 4.5. Colin.
Yeah.
I really was going to switch up my favorites train on this game with the Patriots, but I cannot let Addison's track record of riding a team by himself
True, it goes so well.
overtake how much I liked New England in this matchup. So therefore, I'd be willing to lose the pick. If so, go against my heart just to go with my head and give me the Rams in this spot.
Okay.
But hey, Drake May drafted as the third best quarterback in the draft, and he's looking like the third best quarterback in the draft.
Yeah, that's
I was
probably.
on Bucks last week by myself, wasn't I?
Yeah, you were. Yep, Addison alone on the Bucks last week. Hey, we did good with clean sweeps last
Yeah,
week,
we
by the
did.
way. We won them all until Sunday night, Monday night. Otherwise, we
5
won
and
them
2
all.
though.
Yeah, 5-2 on clean sweeps. Pretty solid. Next up, Cleveland Browns traveling to New Orleans to take on the Saints, who I was on alone last week. Thank you, new Coach Bump. Unfortunately, the new Coach Bump doesn't last. So I don't know if I can take them over the Browns. As a matter of fact, I don't know what I'm going to do. Colin, I'm going to have you go first here because I hate this one. What do you got here?
I got Jameis revenge game here. He should have been playing a lot more when he was in New Orleans. I almost said New England because we just talked about them. New coach bump normally dies that second week. You talked about it. Cleveland, I believe, is off the bye this week.
Yep, they are.
Stefanski, I still think he's a good head coach. Well-coached teams off the bye have to be pretty good historically. Don't have the stats in front of me, but give me Cleveland in this spot.
Oh, man, I'm going to take the Saints. Not for any reason other than they're the home team. Like, that's genuinely it. They're just the home team. And, yeah, Cleveland off the bye is important, but New Orleans with a shocking win over Atlanta. Atlanta's better than Cleveland, and New Orleans beat them, so that's it. Although the Saints also lost to the Panthers. I don't know. I can't get a read on the Saints, man. I simply can't get a read on them, so I'll take them because they're the home team. I don't even think they can get a read on themselves.
They don't know what's going on.
They
Yeah.
don't know who they are, they have no clue what's
They
happening.
just don't have any receivers as well. I'm assuming Chris Olave. I mean, he's on IR, so he's not playing in this game. Yeah, he's got.
I haven't heard any calls for him to retire. I
Yeah.
haven't heard any calls for him to retire.
So New Orleans, man. I mean, their coach either drops logs or he uses too much toilet paper because he's clogging toilets. Very impressive. But I'm taking Cleveland here. It doesn't make me happy, but I like the Jameis revenge game storyline, so I'll probably ride with that. I don't know if I think this is. I was wrong last week. Don't get me wrong. I said Carolina was not going to be able to perform back-to-back weeks. Normally, bad teams can't. I'm going to use that same logic for New Orleans. Bad teams normally can't get a good thing going, and this would be a good thing maybe for New Orleans to win 2 right after you fire Dennis Allen. So give me Cleveland plus the 1.5. Saints win by 1, and the Browns cover.
That's wild. No, I'm gonna. Oh, this is so ugly.
gross one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Cleveland right here as well. My only thought for this is because Rizzy got injured right after the game. I was like, dude, I think he just got hurt. I was watching them celebrate, and he just crumples.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that's why, but I really think it's just hard to keep that consistency. You can't keep that going for 2 straight games. Even though they did beat a superior team. I mean, the Falcons were kind of rolling for a bit, but gosh, how much of that letdown is going to happen, especially with Cleveland coming off that bye? You mentioned, I think they're going to have a really good game plan for this, especially after seeing what they're working with the new coach after a week. Gosh, I guess give me Cleveland. I guess Nick Chubb, I think, is going to have his best game this year.
He better. It's about time. He's due.
Hey, we saw what he went through.
Yeah, I know.
We saw what he went through. He's been through a lot.
Last thing on it as well. As much as the Saints won, Young Wei Koo missed 3 field goals.
Yeah,
So let's
and that
not.
never happened.
The Falcons could have won this football game. Arguably should have. And it was the second time a division game was played between the two. So who knows? You know, just weird shit.
Yeah, weird game for sure. I just cannot put any faith in Cleveland at all. Allergic to Cleveland. Second week in a row, you guys are going to give me the Saints by myself. I love that. Next up, we've got one of the games of the week, if not the game of I would say them and then the Kansas City Buffalo game, also fantastic. But Baltimore at Pittsburgh. The line is Baltimore minus 3.5 points. Sage, you will be going last. Yes. Colin, I started with you last time, but it just makes sense to have it flow this way.
It does make
Your
sense.
way.
I think Pittsburgh's 7-1 in the last 8 meetings between these two teams.
They
I
are
want to say that's what I've seen.
Yes.
Got Sage going to sleep on my take.
Putting it in.
I picked Pittsburgh last week not only to cover but also win outright. Shout out Pittsburgh. I do think at home they do enough to cover the 3. Normally these matchups are 3.5. Normally these matchups are really close. They lose by 3 to Tucker last minute, but cover the 3.5.
Yeah, I am with you. I think this will be a high-scoring game because Baltimore's offense is fantastic. Pittsburgh's offense last 4 games since Russell Wilson took over, 32, 37, 26, 28. I mean, they're scoring points, man. And Baltimore, while their offense is best in the NFL, their defense is bottom in the NFL. They give it up as much as they get it. So, yeah, plus 3.5 points for Mike Tomlin at home. And just the way that they're going, man, you just...
Division.
And it is a home division dog. You guys know I love them. I wasn't even going that route. But I like Pittsburgh to cover the 3, lose by 3 points in this game.
Unlimited diarrhea. That's what Lamar's going to be having this Sunday at 12 Central. Give me Pittsburgh plus 3.5. I just love the defense and keeping it close. I think this could end up being some points scored in this football game because I think Baltimore's offense is that good. But will it be 1 possession, 2 possessions where Pittsburgh's defense steps up? I like to think so. Russ has done enough to make me think they can cover the 3.5. Maybe even win outright. It's going to be a damn good game, both in my power rankings and all our power rankings. Very excited for this one. Give me Pittsburgh plus the 3.5. Mr. Unlimited.
This is the game that I circle every single year.
Absolutely.
Every single year, and especially the one in Pittsburgh, because I love to beat them in Pittsburgh. I haven't gotten to see it in a while, and it's pissing me off, all right? But Pittsburgh Steelers fans, there's no worse fans. I'm sorry. You're awful. I hate I go on Twitter just to look at what the hell you're saying because you're like, oh, we've beaten the Ravens so many times, all this stuff. Half the time we're resting our starters in the last game of the week or last game of the year, and you guys beat Tyler Huntley or fucking
Pro Bowl quarterback Tyler Huntley. You put some respect on his
Pro Bowl
name.
quarterback Tyler Huntley. Apologies.
Yeah.
Apologies. And I love everything we're doing. Gosh, we have the Offensive Player of the Year and the MVP currently on our team. Our defense cannot stop a thing, right? Jamar Chase went for 264 last week and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. Maybe try covering him. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know why in the second half we didn't shoot. I don't know why Marlon Humphrey's not on him because Marlon Humphrey has actually been playing amazing this year.
Why is he not following him?
But Brandon Stevens is getting burnt by number ones every week consistently. I am starting George Pickens on my fantasy team this week, and I haven't started him the past 5 weeks because I'm like, he's a Steeler. Why would I have him? I just have him so no one else has him. That's all. Gosh, it pains me to say. I am going to go with Pittsburgh right here, plus 3.5. I've been consistently picking against the Ravens just to hedge my bets.
Yep.
It's been working for me because we usually let it cover.
Yep.
Yeah.
Winner cover. Except last week you won, but you didn't cover against Cincy.
Yes.
It worked perfect for you.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the ideal situation.
That's literally perfect. So if we can walk off Tucker, field goal, winner, leave, overtime would be great. That's how these games work. I mean, with these division games, especially, I've said it before in the podcast, I mean, it doesn't matter who's playing quarterback for these teams when they play.
It's gonna be a dog.
They hate each other that much. I've seen Charlie Batch beat us,
Yeah.
and I have seen Matt Flynn beat them.
Yeah.
That's gross.
Or not Matt Flynn. I don't know why I said Matt Flynn. Matt Schaub. Matt Schaub.
There we go.
Legend Matt Schaub. I mean, these two teams hate each other, but we have such a big respect for each other. Like I said, I hate the Pittsburgh Steelers fans. You guys are at least fans of a good team, you know? Give me it sucks.
That's gross to take Pittsburgh. That's gross to do that, by the way.
I respect that, though.
I mean, you're gonna need a shower when you get home. You understand that?
I do.
That is gross.
I'm just saying it.
But I will say, I mean, like you said, Baltimore scores 32 points a game, but they give up like 26 points a game. I mean, they give it up, brother.
We're second in the league in points right now,
Yeah.
but our defense allows
Like 28th in scoring defense on the season. So not what you want to see.
It's weird because our pass offense dead last in the league.
Right.
Our rush defense or our pass defense.
Pass.
Defense is, I can't talk. Our pass defense is dead last in the league.
Yes.
Our rush defense is number 1.
Fantastic. It's fantastic.
We're allowing 59 yards a game on the ground.
Yeah. So Russell Wilson's over yardage for sure.
Say we can throw.
Yeah, we're just gonna throw. Yep, we're just gonna throw, and they do, and it works
I
well.
think Jackson is a key player in the secondary.
Yes, he is, and he is bad.
Yeah, I said he explains. He's buns.
Yeah, he is buns. All right. If you guys notice on your paper, there was a change in the schedule after I printed these. Thank God. Thank God.
But why wasn't this game moved?
Colts, Jets flexed. Yeah, right. I know. Or Kansas City, Buffalo.
They had so many
You can't. That's right. That one you can't because the network wouldn't allow it. But it should have been Ravens, Steelers. So we will be jumping Indianapolis Colts at the New York Jets, who Since Addison told us on the pod that us and the NFL should watch the fuck out for the New York Jets, are 1-6. 1-6 since that point, coming off of a 31-6 clobbering at the hands of the Arizona Cardinals. I've got questions for the Jets defense, honest to God. That's my biggest concern is you fire Saleh because he's the problem, even though the offense is struggling, and now the defense has regressed significantly. Badly regressed. I mean, 37 to the Steelers, 25 to the Patriots, 13 to the Texans on a short week with no wide receivers, and then 31 to Arizona. Horrible. Sauce Gardner might be losing that name. He might be going by Ahmad Gardner soon because he's getting cooked. He can't tackle. He's too interested in golf. I don't know if you guys saw that. He loves golf. He streams it. He plays it all the time. It's like, oh, he's more interested in golfing. And the Jets are minus 3.5 points. No, I don't think so. Not on my watch. I'll be taking the Indianapolis Colts plus 3.5 points here. I can't give the Jets any points against anybody at all. The Colts with Joe Flacco can at least maybe move the ball some. I don't know. We'll see if it's Joe Flacco or Anthony Richardson. Is it Flacco? Like going forward, that's it. It's Flacco.
Shane said until I say otherwise, it's Flacco. And he reiterated.
That's so dumb. What a stupid thing they're doing. It doesn't matter though because the Jets are also just completely in piss. Watch them win this game, and all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, we're back. We're back."
Oh, yeah, they will be.
They will be telling us all how back they are. Mike Greenberg will be back on, even though he said this is a colossal failure, which he's correct it is. Give me the Colts plus 3.5 points. Colin.
Thank God it was flexed.
Right.
Both teams in misery. I do think the Jets do win and cover this spread here. I just don't have the faith in the Colts right now. Offensively, I think the Jets, even though their defense hasn't been great, I do think their front four can still provide a lot of pressure on Joe Flacco in the pocket, and their offense is inevitable. It's got to come around at some point, right? I mean, Devontae Adams is there, right?
Oh, man.
Breece Hall is like the projected number two
Number
PPR
two,
running
yeah.
back coming into the year, right?
Right.
I don't know. Give me the Jets, and I don't love it. If they score 17, I think they might be able to cover this, 17-13, but I don't feel confident.
Addison, big Jets guy.
Yeah, JTS Jets, captain dying with the ship. I got to sync with it. Everyone else is getting off, and I'm just standing there. I'm saluting as it sings. I'm still sinking.
Guy behind the trumpet. There's a violinist behind him.
100%. I'm going down with the ship gladly. This pick is strictly because Flacco fucking sucks.
Yeah.
And the Colts just screwed the pooch. I don't think it would matter who was back there because I just don't know if this Colts team is as good as people think in general. And they've also sounds like they've quit on Shane Steichen. It sounds like there potentially could be a coaching change at the end of the season. And it's like, hey.
Yeah, a lot of places would take.
It's all because of Irsay, though, and he is the AFC Jerry Jones. I'm taking the Jets here. I know I love them, but this is strictly because the Colts just have looked really bad. And I'm not saying they look great with Rich. They didn't offensively. They've looked worse with Flacco these last 2 weeks. And this is not supposed to happen. The whole thing was he's going to come in, not make mistakes, not miss easy throws. It's like he's missing easy throws. He's making mistakes. So what's the fucking point? And the Colts are just reaping what they sow. Jets minus 3.5 because the Jets somehow beat the Texans. They're going to somehow beat the Colts.
Joe Flacco revenge. That's what I was gonna lead with. Good timing. Joe Flacco revenge game. We all know what's going to happen when he plays the New York Jets. He's going to lose right here. He's going to lose. I think the Jets are going to cover right here, minus 3.5. The reason I think so is because it is just about time right now for them to give their fans hope again for another week, and then they're going to tear it away. And they do that every other week until about week 13. So we got 2 more weeks until they just shit the bed completely. Get ready, y'all. But no, I mean, they're not a consistent team, but playing against a terrible defense in the Indianapolis Colts, against an offense that sometimes looks not inept. But gosh, I mean, I really think, and I mentioned this in our group chat over the weekend, Joe Flacco is only good as a backup if he is coming in for someone that is injured.
Yep.
And that's it.
He's given the job he doesn't want.
Yeah.
I don't want this job.
He's
only to steal it from someone.
Yes. He's only good if there's no other option.
Yeah.
If there is another option, he's like, dude, just let the other guy do
Let the other guy play.
it. You know? It's like he's trying to give it back to Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, he is.
And that's why I'm going to go with the New York Jets. I think this is going to be a get-right game for that Jets defense. Hopefully, I mean, they are like near the end, like near last in the league since Robert Saleh has been fired. I mean, I truly think they've only gotten worse.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow.
And poor Robert Saleh. Not poor Robert Saleh. I think he's enjoying this.
Yeah,
He's sitting there in Green Bay like, this is fucking great.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Hopefully he comes to the Bears next year.
Yeah, Bears
Oh,
DC,
oh.
Johnson, DC.
Bears head coach actually. And
We're gonna get Ron Rivera, I guess.
Yes, John Fox comes back. Come on.
Mark Trestman.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Fans were screaming, "We want Transfer."
Ooh, you can't quarterback whisperer.
Quarterback whisper. Canadian football.
Oh, wow.
Speaking of which, you know the only 2 offensive coordinators to be fired this year is Shane
Waldron and
Waldron and
Getsy.
Getsy.
Yeah.
2 brilliant minds.
And both teams had way better candidates interview for the positions too, and they just said no thanks. We're good. We'll pass. That's crazy to me. I'm sorry. That's crazy to me.
You guys can have Harbaugh next year.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, run pass. Yeah.
Well, I'll say this.
I mean, ever since I was a kid, that was their
Oh,
offense.
oh yeah. The Colts are gonna do this the worst way possible for Rich. You're gonna lose this game. Fox is gonna look mid.
Yep.
He's gonna get benched, and then they're gonna throw Rich to the Wolves against the Lions,
Save us.
and then he's gonna get trashed against the Lions. It's gonna be like, see, he sucks.
See, we
He
told you he
sucks.
was real good, yeah.
You know, I just can see that happening. Watch Ursay. Who knows?
And I can also, to be as the mayor of Fair and just completely unbiased here, could totally see the Jets winning. Like if they win this game, coming out and saying like, "Look at our schedule." They host the Seahawks, who are 4-5. They go to Miami, who are 3-6, who do own them though, but they are 3-6. They go to Jacksonville, host the Rams, go to Buffalo, tough game, but then they host the Dolphins. Like they've only got one team with a winning record on the schedule as of today. So I could see this would be a perfect game to give their fans hope, just to absolutely crush them. Because if they lose this game, if they lose to the Colts and they fall to 3-8, like does Rodgers just say, "Yeah, I think I'm good, guys. I think I hurt myself. I don't think I want to play anymore." Like he could be done. Why would he bother going out there anymore? He's done with football at the end of the year anyways. So might as well call it quits. All right, moving on to the 3 o'clock slate of games. Atlanta at Denver. Denver favorited -2.5 points. Addison, what are your thoughts on this football game?
I'm taking Denver here -2.5, and it's gross. There's no way I would have thought I would have taken this earlier this season, but Atlanta, laying the egg, I get the new coach bump against a division opponent, missed field goals, the whole 9, but the way Denver and Bo Nix is playing, I sort of believe in them. I mean, their defense is good. Bo Nix is doing just enough. Not really turning the ball over at a crazy rate. He uses his legs. They've got some decent weapons, and it's just a well-coached football team by Sean Payton. I mean, I was ragging on him a little bit to start the season. I think everyone really was, rightfully so. But he has shown, hey, I'm still a good coach in today's league, and he's really got Denver rolling. I mean, they're favored at the end of the day at home against a good team. So,
Shouldn't be.
yeah, exactly.
Kansas
Yeah,
City.
very true. Give me the Broncos -2.5. Maybe in a bit of a shocker, even though they're favored. Atlanta's good, but give me Denver here.
Yeah, I'm actually going to roll with Atlanta right here. I do love Denver this year. I think they're playing way above expectation.
Yeah.
I think Atlanta just has way more things to worry about. In terms of weapons, I mean, when you're playing against the Chiefs, you have to lock down new Travis Kelce, and Kareem Hunt was their leading receiver last week. That's not really saying much. I mean, they're already lost Brown, Rashid Rice, and they got Nuke Hopkins, but he's 32. Whereas when you look at Atlanta's bringing this resurgence of Darnell Mooney. They got Bijan Robinson, and they got an amazing run game even behind him with Tyler Algier. I think they just have a wealth of weapons right here that I don't think Denver can keep up with. That's why I'm going to take Atlanta +2.5 right there. I do think Denver has a chance in this spot, obviously with that defense playing out of their mind as of late, except for when y'all got trounced by Baltimore 41-10. Won't let you forget about that, but you're playing against the league MVP. I mean, what are you supposed to do? Give me Atlanta right here +2.5.
This is welcome to Nate's meaningless stat of the week. When you look at the Broncos so far this season, you look at who they've lost to and who they've beaten to. Current teams in the playoffs, they are 0-1 against the Chiefs, 0-2 because they lost to the Ravens. They lost to the Chargers, 0-3 against teams in the playoffs currently. Lost to the Steelers, 0-4 against teams in the playoffs currently. They also lost to the Seahawks, so they've beaten up on bad teams, lost to the good teams. Is Atlanta a good team? I don't know, man. They are so up and down. I genuinely don't know. They can go toe-to-toe with the Chiefs and nearly beat them. It takes a 4th-and-1 stop for them to lose to the Chiefs. And then they just completely lay an egg against the Seahawks, and the Seahawks beat them by 20 points. It's like, who are you guys? I don't know. I'm going to go with them bouncing back after an ugly loss to the Saints. No, I'm not. I'm taking Denver -2.5 points. I talked myself into it. I'm taking Denver, better defense. I don't know Atlanta. I don't know who Atlanta is. I like Denver's defense more. And Sean Payton, hopefully a bounce back performance here. I don't know, man. This one's tough. But give me Denver minus 2.5.
You got me all sorts confused over here now.
I'm sorry. I feel myself all over the place.
I am also going to go with Denver. I think Bo Nix has looked a lot better at this point in the season than I had projected. I think he looks like the second best quarterback so far up to this point.
Yeah,
very,
just this
very
season.
importantly, so far.
Yeah.
Their defense as well. I gave them credit last week. Their front seven looked good again. I think the one way to really stop Atlanta's offense, they got the two-headed back with Robinson and Algier, but also Kirko loves that play action pass. I think you take away the run, maybe the play action, little less effect. Pass Surtain can definitely take either London or Mooney just completely out of the game, and then hopefully you can just double the other and maybe you make it work because Kyle Pitts back to being a non-factor.
Yep. Didn't take long.
Say all that, just give me Denver at home. Mile high, tough place to play.
Tough place to play, very true. And I will say, Denver's defensive line, I mean, they've got 35 sacks on the season. That's solid from a bunch of no-names also. I mean, N. Benito. I'm assuming that's Nick Benito, I think. I don't know what his first name actually is. Is his first name Nick? I don't know. We'll see if it loads. It is
Nathan.
with a K. Nick with a K. And then Jay Cooper. Anybody got a guess on the first name? It's Jonathan Cooper. Okay, yeah, wouldn't have gotten that. So those are their leading sack getters, and they're still getting pressure. Shout out Vance Joseph. Vance Joseph, very good defensive coordinator, horrible as a head coach. He was a head coach in Denver. In Denver, he was horrible.
The pride to put aside to go
To say, yeah, all right, I'll be the
DC,
DC.
place you were head coach. And
Yeah,
then
shout out.
Not far in between.
Shout out, yeah. Alrighty, Seattle at San Francisco. We've got a match up in the NFC West, a wide open NFC West, honestly. It's minus 6.5 for San Francisco. I'm going to take San Francisco. McCaffrey's back. That's all. I'm done.
Not even just McCaffrey's back. I'd take it even if it was McCaffrey out. The San Francisco 49ers own the Seattle Seahawks so bad. It's not even funny. They just shut down the offense to degrees where it's just embarrassing from Seattle. I know Seattle fans do not like seeing the 49ers twice a year, especially in San Fran. I'm taking the San Francisco 49ers minus 6.5. And then on top of it all, Nate, you're not wrong. CMC is back.
Yeah.
And he's going to score a touchdown this week. He will this week.
You will, for sure.
Minus 400.
No, you're absolutely right, Addison. San Francisco owns Seattle, and they're not like last week. They were playing Tampa Bay, and they're playing against Baker Mayfield, who absolutely threw the best play that I think I've seen this year. The stiff arm on Bosa, fourth down, throwing it to Rashad White. One of the coolest things I've seen. But you're not playing a guy with heart. You're playing Geno Smith, right? Yeah. I don't think Geno Smith is that kind of guy. I don't think he can carry that team with even the weapons he has. I mean, Baker Mayfield is playing without his top two weapons. Yeah, I mean, you're playing with DK and Tyler Lockett and JSN, and I don't see it happening. I'm sorry. Give me San Francisco right here. You're right. Christian McCaffrey, 2 touchdowns. Here we go.
Also, to be fair, I think if Baker Mayfield had a little bit more melanin, Nick Bosa would have ripped his arm off and put him in the dirt. But since it's Baker Mayfield, he's like, I want to be nice, I want to be nice, I want to be nice.
I'm sorry. That was so cool. I can talk
That
about
was a great play. That was a great
I
play.
remember watching
Fourth down, too.
Yeah,
I mean,
for
I
the
know it's
game,
so
like they're fighting for their life.
I saw a meme about it. I was like, you vote Trump, you vote Trump.
Yeah, exactly. That is exactly why he didn't grab his arm and throw him to the ground.
Yeah, all right, King, go ahead and complete this pass. I did say it a few weeks ago. I don't have all the stats in front of me now. I did then. I believe at the time San Fran won 5 straight. They've now won 6 straight against Seattle, and they had covered in 4 of 5. Now they're covered in 5 of 6. McCaffrey's back. I do like San Francisco. I'll be short and sweet.
All right, probably game of the week. I would say this is between a lot of our number 1 or number 2 teams in the power ranking and number 3 or number 4 team in the power ranking, and it's in Buffalo, and the line is moving in Buffalo's favor. It is. I have written down, and we're rolling with Buffalo minus 1.5. It's already 2.5 Buffalo, so it's moving in that direction. This one's a tricky one, man. This is 2 good teams. Sage, I'm going to start with you. I'm going to swing it down your way and let you talk to us about this one.
Yeah, obviously I mentioned earlier that I think, honestly, anybody could beat Kansas City and nobody can beat Kansas City. And this might be one of our last hopes for Kansas City to see a loss. The only other team that I think has a chance on their schedule, they do play the Pittsburgh Steelers soon, who I think match up well with them.
They do, in Pittsburgh also.
Yeah.
That's on Christmas.
Yeah, so we've got some time until then. On Netflix? Weird.
I know, they're trying to buy as much.
They're trying to get in.
Wild. Buffalo just has a lot more balance within their offense. I'm going to roll with Buffalo right here to actually just take this win. I think they're going to win. It's 1.5. That's about as close as it's going to be, I think. They'll probably win this game by 2 to 4 points if they do win. I mean, granted, that's also saying Kansas City doesn't figure things out. Pacheco is possibly back this week.
No,
What'd I say?
No, I told Nate I'm sorry, but you'll see.
Careful.
Everyone got real quiet.
Apologize in advance. It's always a little bit
My
worse
stomach
than
dropped.
apologize.
I'm officially nervous.
No, Pacheco comes back this week, so we'll probably see a little more run game right there, and Patrick Mahomes will have to shoulder the entire load. But
Here's some weird shit, Pat.
Give me Josh Allen right here to score a few touchdowns to the air and clutch it out.
Okay, I like it.
Gosh, it's a weird one.
Yeah, this is a really tough one to pick, and
Because Kansas City's not that good, but somehow they're good.
yeah, 9-0. But I will say he's not wrong. It's a Twitter thread, and I think they get more love because they've won 2 Super Bowls in a row. Obviously, and it's Mahomes, but their games have been so damn close that they could almost be under 500 if some things didn't roll their way. As crazy as that seems, instead they're 9-0 and the best team of football.
Well, they remind me of, remember, it was like Big Ben's last year or the year before that, where they went 11-0.
Yes, and then lost first round in the playoffs, and him and Pouncey were crying on the bench.
That's right.
Yep. I'm taking Kansas City here plus the points. Give me the best team in football, in my opinion. Plus points. Thank you very much. Nate, all I said sorry to you was the Dolphins suck this year, and your perfect season is going to break, man. It's truly in danger. 1972, it was 72, right?
Yeah.
Dolphins are not going to be celebrating, I think. There's a chance, at least.
Is getting warm.
Yeah, and they're starting to tweak. And if they win this game, I understand they play Pittsburgh. Man, Kansas City, undefeated. It's got life. I'm saying it. I'm saying, yeah, you have been. It's going to happen. But give me Kansas City plus the 1.5 here. Although Buffalo does, I want to see if Cooper's back. I'm assuming he will be. They're going to be missing Coleman. And Kansas City's got weapons everywhere. Their defense still playing stout for Spags. Taking the Chiefs plus the 1.5. Yeah, watch out, 1972 Dolphins.
Who, Chiefs? Broncos. In Denver.
See it.
They're resting.
Right,
I know,
but
but
will
then you
they
have
if
a
they're
chance
16-0?
to repeat
Will
and
they?
go.
Will they? But the question becomes: do you prioritize the Super Bowl over history?
I know.
Because if you throw Patrick Mahomes out there to go 17-0, and God forbid something happened, true, they would get a bye week. That's true. That's a good
Maybe
point.
you say, hey, we'll take the rest in the bye week.
Yeah, that's true. Who knows?
Bring it to double bye.
Get 2 buys from Mahomes,
I
but
bet
then you
Andy-
get rusty.
I bet Andy Reid, look, he wanted that field goal, not to give that.
I bet you, like, let's just get the loss out of the way. Get the loss out of the way so you're not thinking about it. I agree with that. I am taking Kansas City because of Buffalo. Again, another team where it's like, yeah, they're winning games, but they're not exactly pretty. Not winning pretty games, and they're not beating good teams. They are 7-0 against teams that are currently under 500, 1-2 against teams that are above 500. I don't know. It's annoying. How do they get to play these teams?
It helps that their whole division is garbage.
Okay. 2 of the teams are garbage. All right, we lost by 3 in Buffalo. Damn it. Whatever. You guys are dicks. But the Chiefs are gonna win. The Chiefs are just gonna win this game outright because they're gonna go undefeated, man. They're going to not lose a football game this year, and it just feels inevitable at this point to me. Like, even if they lost in Buffalo last year on some cheese on the offsides on Kadarius Toney, where it's like just barely offsides, and Buffalo was better overall of a team last year. I think Kansas City's gonna win this game because they're underdogs. Patrick Mahomes, an underdog, is like unstoppable, like the easiest money of all time. Kansas City just continues to win ball games, and all they have to do is win to cover this one. Seems easy to me.
Not to jump seats, but I was going to bring this up and I sort of forgot. I know I love jumping seats.
Yes.
Love it. The Bears have seriously warped me so much. I've brought this up before, but the Kansas City Chiefs are my team because we could have drafted Mahomes. So I love to see the success.
Yeah.
I love it. I know everyone hates it. I love it.
In Mahomes.
I love it. This could be the Bears. They've warped my brain. Reality works so fucked in my head that Kansas City Chiefs are the Bears and Patrick Mahomes is a Bears quarterback.
Yeah.
So go Bears.
Good for you guys, man. Good for you guys. You guys are doing great.
You know what? I've always secretly been a huge fan of the Kansas
Hey,
City
I love them
Chiefs.
when they had Trent Green,
Yeah.
baby.
Yep.
Love was his Priest Holmes, right? Priest Holmes. In this spot, though, it's so tough to pick because Mahomes as a dog is incredible, and Kansas City, just all they do is win. I forgot everything I was going to say because I threw that terrible joke as soon as I grabbed the mic. Give me the Bills minus 1.5 here at home. Oh, I know. I don't know, Jim.
Oh, there it is.
That's my best Romo impression. That's what I was going to do. More nonsense. But give me those Buffalo Bills. If he's on this call, he's definitely, this got to be Romo.
Oh, yeah, this is 100% Romo Nance.
Oh, I don't know, Jim.
Oh, I'm gonna be watching this game. Without.
Also, it cracked me up last week. Romo Nance had the Cowboy game, sadly, and a fan had a sign that said "Put Romo in," and they showed him in the booth. Just
Get the arm.
had me dying. But give me the Bills here.
Do you think
Kyle,
he
before
secretly
you-
hates doing Cowboys games?
Yeah.
Do you think he's just like, I gotta see this motherfucker again?
Before we move on, read this stat for me. Just read the stat for the fans and people in America.
Mahomes is an underdog, is 11-3 straight up, 12-1-1 against the spread.
As an underdog.
Give me the Bills -7.
-7 to blow them out. I love it. I mean, that's a crazy
I could
stat.
see Bills winning
That's
because
insane.
regular
That's
season
insane.
Bills.
That's insane.
Regular season Bills versus Chiefs.
Yeah, true.
Kansas City lets them get this one, just
Just
knowing
to
that
break their
in
heart.
2 months they're gonna punk them.
Break their heart. Although, Kansas City drops this one. All of a sudden, Buffalo's like, hey, we might be the 1 seed. All of a sudden, it's 9-2 versus 9-1 with the head-to-head. Yeah, they don't care. They'll go on the road and beat them.
They can be the 7th.
Mahomes has 3 rings, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
In 5 attempts. He's already been to the Super Bowl 5 times.
Yes.
Right?
4 times. One loss.
That's right. He lost to the Bengals in the AFC Championship game. That's right. That's right.
4 Super Bowl appearances, 3 wins, 3-1. 1 loss is to Brady, and his other playoff loss is to Brady.
Yeah. Well, they lost to the Bengals, and
Two of
that.
his playoff losses are to Brady.
Yeah.
Until this year.
Yeah. When he beats Lamar in the AFC Championship game.
When Lamar gets his 3rd MVP,
Yes.
to match his 3 playoff wins.
It's 3 playoff wins.
That's crazy.
It's sadly true.
That is very crazy.
Jeez. All right, Sunday Night Football. This is a good one. This is kind of, I don't know if these two, I'm sure they've played each other or their teams have played each other since they drafted, but I don't know if Burrow versus Herbert has happened yet. This is going to be kind of exciting. Although it's a real watered down version of Herbert. They're winning games with him throwing for 170 yards a game. I mean, he's just not being asked to do it.
This past month has actually been a little different.
Except Sunday when he threw for $140.
They win?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. He threw like they're winning games, but not because of him.
Right.
He threw for 164 and a touchdown against the Titans, who he should have lit up.
They have Greg Roman, so.
Exactly. So it's like we're getting a watered down version of him, but man, you gotta love the vibes that Jim Harbaugh is bringing. I mean, he is on the sideline getting hyped. They are. He is bringing the vibes, and that team is rolling. It's a team that feels like they have something in LA and Cincinnati. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what's going on in Cincinnati this year. 4-6. Bad defense. They probably will steal one of those last playoff spots, but they've got to win. They've got some tough ones coming up. They've got Chargers, Steelers, Cowboys, Titans, Browns, Broncos, Steelers. So those last 2 games, Broncos, Steelers, will probably decide playoff spots. Those will be huge games. Chargers at home as a favorite. I like the Chargers defense, man. I like the Chargers defense, and I like their run game to control the clock in this game. And I think Harbaugh is going to do what the Ravens couldn't do, and that's cover Jamar Chase. I know that's a novel idea, and I'm probably like reinventing the wheel with that, but hear me out. If you put maybe 2 guys to cover him, right? Like bracket
Pull the
him.
Belichick.
Yeah, just literally say, you can't beat me. It will be literally anybody else. Anybody else on that team can
When
beat
we
me.
lined up for 2 and I saw 1-on-1, I was like, this game's fucking.
Yeah, it's lost. It's a lost cause.
I
It's
was
like,
so thrilled that they called the worst play call in history.
yeah, why on earth that happened? But I believe in Harbaugh and that defense to say, hey, maybe we just stop him and make Andre Yosevas beat us. Or T. Higgins, who's hurt and may not even play. Or make Chase Brown beat us. It's like, they aren't going to. Just stop Jamar Chase. That's all you got to do. I know it's a lot easier said than done.
That's all.
Put 3 guys on him. I don't care what it takes. Like, there was an old thing where it was like, take your best corner, your number 1 corner, put him on the number 3 receiver, number 2 receiver, and then take your next best 2 and double the number 1 receiver. That's what they need to do. That is a Belichick special. Do it. Do it. Give me the Chargers. Colin.
Always loved the coach going for 2 at the end there. I was 100%
Yeah,
go
it's
for
exciting.
2 if you're
It's the right
Cincinnati. We talked about it on the ride over here. 38 seconds, 2 timeouts Baltimore had. So it's kind of fringe because they have the time and the timeouts. But I love going for 2 in that spot. Chase Brown's fumble last week was a big part in that comeback for Baltimore. I think that was later in the third quarter, mid-third quarter. Great game. Great game. I love the Chargers defense, and they're still, I think, the best scoring defense in the NFL.
Yeah.
But I think this is a game that Cincinnati, if they do have those aspirations for playoffs this season, they have to have this game. And I do like their offense right now, so I'm going to take Cincinnati as a dog on the road.
Okay, I like that. I'm actively writing in Bobby's picks as we go as well, so we'll know if we have any 5 fella sweeps.
Yeah.
Add some thoughts on this one.
I pretty much agree with everything you've said about how the Chargers are going to keep the ball away from the Cincinnati Bengals, and I believe they'll be able to because the Bengals defense is hot cheeks.
Yes, hot cheeks.
But the Chargers also sometimes don't score touchdowns, even on longer drives. So I wonder if a few stall outs ends up biting him in the ass here. I'm going to take Cincinnati as well. And it's, Colin, you brought this up last week. Burrow would be in the MVP conversation if their record was better. He is playing great. He played great last game. And it helps, obviously, when you have Chase. It hurts without T. Higgins. He's playing like a guy that doesn't have a contract. And if he's got any little ding, he's not going. And, I mean, that hurts. And they're still producing offensively. I think with a limited time of possession, Joe Burrow is one of the few quarterbacks that can make that work. It won't matter if he has less possessions, maybe one less, because it's the way he's playing. I just believe that they'll be able to put up enough points. It hurts me to pick against the LA Hardballs. I love Harbaugh. I'm glad the Chargers are good because good for Harbaugh. But give me the Bengals plus the 1.5. Colin, you said it. They have to win this game for playoffs.
I believe, and you can fact check me on this to make sure, I might be pulling stuff out of my ass. No team has scored more than 20 points on the LA Chargers. I'm pretty sure that's real right there. And that defense, you said, is rolling. I do think that if anyone can play them the right way and lock up Jamar Chase, it is them. But like you said, Joe Burrow is technically playing at an MVP level. You know, last week he obviously had 400-some yards. Jamar Chase went for 264, 3 touchdowns. But the week before that, he threw for 5 touchdowns. None of them went to Jamar Chase. You know, he can get it done with the surrounding pieces around him. So that's why I'm not going to take anything away from Cincinnati. I do think whoever they have out there guarding them, they can make plays work. Give me Cincinnati right here, plus 1.5 on the road.
Alrighty. With Bobby's picks, we have 2 5-guy sweeps. Green Bay minus 5.5 comes to a 5 sweep, and then San Francisco minus 6.5 is a 5 sweep.
So
with one more game to go.
That own their opponents.
Yeah, well, Green Bay's on the road, but yes.
Oh, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
Two
division
favorites.
two home second home.
Yeah, Lambeau South.
Yeah, Lambeau South.
Vacation home.
Sage picked all his NFC North rivals this week. That makes me one of them he had to.
True.
True. Big Browns.
Yeah, Sage is on all the AFC North teams this weekend. Wow.
Hey, I got respect for the division.
Okay, that's respect.
It's November now.
Yeah,
We're playing
yeah,
tough
yeah.
football.
Cold football.
Cold
We're
football.
playing tough football more than the AFC North.
No one.
literally
That's
been-
literally all they do.
Nobody.
Yeah, nobody does.
Also talking about Herbert and not, having to put up those video game numbers this
Yep.
year, it really
That's
is
good for
an
him.
indictment on the Chargers' offensive play calling and overall culture the last few years. You have to go out there and play perfect hero ball every
300
possession,
yards and 3 touchdowns or we lose.
or we lose. And now it's like, hey, we just need like 4 or 5 high leverage.
Just don't
Yeah,
blow the
he
game.
loves
Just
those.
don't blow us
Yeah,
the
and
game.
he's good at those. And I also just wonder what happens if Chargers backs do get put against the wall. That Herbert can come out if they need him to,
yeah, he
right?
can.
Because he's shown he can.
He's in there.
So-
He's in there.
Well, just wait for next year when the defense is calling out your plays before you.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Because Greg Roman is he's not great, or whoever they have. They have
Greg
Greg
Roman is a
Roman.
great starter for a new coach.
He's like Jim Schwartz on defense. Second year, it's going to be ugly.
Yeah.
It's like Jim Schwartz, but on the offensive side. Monday Night Football, Colin. This one might be ugly. Monday Night Football. Houston at Dallas. Line is Houston minus 7.5 points. Dallas has fractures, man. It pains me to say it as my NFC team that I root for every week, regardless of how good they are. It's tough to watch because they're just bad right now on both sides of the ball. And Dak being out sucks, but even with Dak in, it's like, man, what is going on this year? I'm going to have to take Houston, especially because I think Nico Collins is going to play, and I think he's the difference maker on that Houston offense. You know how Houston has looked offensively recently without him. Put him in the fold, man, and I think they beat Detroit. All of a sudden, without him, they lost to Detroit by 3, and they were up big. Joe Mixon's been fantastic. Dallas's run defense is suspect. There's just a lot of holes right now, and then you got Micah beefing with the coach. I don't know. I'm going to take Houston here just as the more stable organization at this point in time. Addison.
Yeah, I brought it up when we talked about power rankings. How bad is Houston? You lose a football game where you have 5 interceptions, your offense can't do anything, and Stroud 2 picks in the second half.
Yeah.
No touchdowns. And one of them was a throw to the end zone he thought he had for days. Instead, a safety comes out of nowhere and picks it off.
Play.
It was a great play, but
still,
CJ Stroud, throw that ball to the back of the end zone where Tank Dell wants it.
Yeah, dart it.
And that's a touchdown. Game's over, right? Who knows? But CJ Stroud came back down to life a little bit this season, but he's still a damn good quarterback, and Dallas is in disarray. Nate, I wish I could so bad just cut for you, but if the little video of Troy Aikman crying when his coach got the Hall of Fame nod, that's Cowboys fans this week. They're gonna be crying like Aikman watching this game. It's sad, but give me Houston minus 7.5 in this one. Yeah, it's pretty easy to find. It's good. He's in there cheering up. But give me Houston minus 7.5, and I just feel bad because Dallas injuries and what happened from this last season to this.
Just Photoshop his face or that just on my face.
Yeah, we defake your face.
No, Cooper Rush is getting closer and closer to that 500 500 mark as a starter. It's going to happen very quickly, very soon, this season for sure. I'm going to go with Houston right here. I mean, they are a superior team. They should win this. They're still playing in Texas. You're not moving far. Just go across. Just go across the street and kick ass. Take care of what you need to take care of. Because if they don't win this game, they're going so much further down. Whatever expectations I had of them. You know, I still think they're gonna win their division. Their division is dog shit. But it's looking more and more like first round exit every single week, and it's really scary for a team that some people had Super Bowl aspirations for before the season started. A lot of teams thought that.
They improved pretty much everywhere.
It's almost like they're the 2023 Jaguars. Add a number 1 receiver, Calvin Ridley, Stephon Diggs. Second-year guy in the quarterback room.
I will say Stephon Diggs did get hurt.
Right, but bear with me. Top 5 quarterback in the NFL, even though he's only had one good season. CJ Stroud anointed MVP. Start strong because it's a weak schedule, and then all of a sudden teams start coming. You lose to the Jets, you lose to the Lions. It's like, there's trouble in paradise.
Yeah, a little bit. I can see that.
Classic.
I do think a lot of their offensive game plan was probably around Nico Collins. When
Yes,
Nico went
100%.
down,
Losing him hurts.
obviously that's when their season started to fall apart a little bit more. So with
100%.
Nico possibly coming back this week, if he doesn't, I'm okay with that too, because Dallas is probably one of those teams where you can get away with, hey, rest up another week. We got bigger fish to fry coming up, you know. So I do think if Nico plays, they're gonna curb stomp him. Give me Houston.
Oh man, here we go. Let's see, Colin, is this another belt to ass game for the
I feel like
Cowboys?
the loser of our fantasy league should get a belt
Oh
tattooed
my
on their
God.
ass.
I'm about Sage just saying I'm gonna belt spank him.
Well, sadly,
All of a sudden, just benches all starters.
Yeah, Sage just
And you just see me sitting there. All right, boys.
who's doing it? Who's doing the spanking?
Oh no.
Dude. Sage wears assless chaps to the end of the season pod.
All right, let's reel it in.
Yeah.
Houston on the season has only won one game by 8 or more points, and it was in New England. However, I think Dallas is kind of trending more towards the Patriot side of things and the Cowboy expectation side of things. I had preseason. They've lost 4 straight games to teams currently in playoff contention, and here comes Houston, who is still leading their division. Nico Collins, hey, here's a couple third down routes we need from you. Otherwise,
Just take it easy.
yep, take it easy over there. Have some chuckles.
Right, run some
On the
cardio,
side.
do some stretching.
Yep, hit the bike.
The mic.
Give me Dallas plus the 7.5.
Attaboy.
Fuck it. This is for some pride.
I love that.
This is for pride.
That's what Roger said this week. He said for pride. That's what the
Yeah, you
Jets are
got the
playing
new
for.
shiny toy coming in. We're talking about Texas flipping over to
Right.
a Houston,
Yeah.
Texas team. And here comes the establishment in Texas.
Establishment.
They're saying, you know what? We're keeping it how it has been, damn it. We're keeping the good old boys.
You know what? If
the Dallas
McCarthy,
Cowboys.
has anything in his bag of tricks, he's pulling them out this week.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you get questioned by your star defensive end, and he's like, okay, all right, time to hope you're ready for the fucking show. It's game time. Like, I don't know where it's been, but here we go.
This is either a game they lose heartbreaking fashion
Yeah.
last second Dallas, or they just get mollywopped
Just
for
crushed.
60 minutes.
Yeah.
And so I'll take the last second heartbreak in this one.
Okay. I like it. I like it. That is Bobby's Mortal Lock. Switching gears slightly, as those are the games for week 11 in the NFL season. Mortal Locks. Everyone else's record is right around 500. Addis at 6-4, Sage 6-4, and then Bobby and Colin 5-5. So well done, fellas. That's all we need to talk about for those. Bobby this week is going with Houston minus 7.5. And I'm going with, and I'm doing it because I'm going to do it the rest of the year. Also, people are going to have to start paying me. You're going to have to start paying me. If I'm not going to use it on my own, you're going to have to start paying me. But I'm going to use it on my own. I'm going to take the Raiders plus 7.5 points and hedge that one. I took the Raiders in the pick. Dolphins win by 7. Last year, they beat them 20-13. I'd love it if that happens again. Thank you very much. Max Crosby's going to have 2 sacks. If I'm please, Tua, just lay down if he's coming, man. Like, if you just sense him, just tuck and cover. Please, for the love of God, tuck and cover. Do not get hurt. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Run the damn ball and we'll be okay. But give me Vegas plus 7.5 with my 1-9 Mortal Lock record. Addison.
That's disgusting. We say it every week. Just as impressive as 9-1, though. It
I'm
really
telling
is.
you,
It really
it's
is.
50-50.
More
There's
impressive.
50-50.
Yeah,
I
it
genuinely
is.
think it's more impressive.
It is a true curse.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what I pick. It's a true curse.
That is impressive, my friend. I'm going to take a team that is not cursed against their opponent, and that's the San Francisco 49ers minus 6.5. Christian McCaffrey. I feel like they even were a little bit. He had a short leash last week. Didn't want to use him too much. That's just going to continue to grow and grow. We all expect multiple end zone trips from CMC. I just expect this to be a beatdown. So give me those San Francisco 49ers minus 6.5 for my lock. That's going to hit.
All right. Y'all left me a layup for my lock right here. I'm going to take Green Bay at Chicago, minus 5.5.
Yeah, minus 13.5.
Minus 13.5. You said it. No, obviously, everything we said earlier when did we sweep them?
The Bears. We did. We took some.
We swept them. Yeah, there's a reason for it. I'm gonna double down on that sweep. Green Bay.
I mean, that's it.
Yeah. Colin, mortal lock.
It is.
I'm going to do something potentially very stupid, but you know what? Why not let it fly? Give me those Buffalo Bills at home. Kansas City. Kansas City, you're taking your first L this week.
I hope so, honestly. It was I hate it because I have to root against the Bills, but also, like, if the Chiefs win this game, they're not losing. 17-0 is on the cards. For sure on the cards.
I really think a divisional, they're going to lose 1 or 2.
They don't, though. I mean, Patrick Mahomes against the division is what, like 23-2?
Dumb.
Against their division? It's genuinely like 25-4, yeah.
Absurd.
I mean, they don't lose. And the Raiders suck.
They play the Chargers again?
They do. They do.
Chargers could do it.
It's funny. I think the Chargers are the team that's beat him least.
Yeah, they are. I don't know if they've beaten him more than once in his career, honest to God.
I
I think the Broncos are the only team to give him any trouble. But they host the Chargers. So, yikes. I don't know, man. I don't know if they're going to lose a game. That's my outrageous take for the week. Chiefs undefeated, losing in the playoffs, though. Yeah, losing to the Ravens in the playoffs. There we go. Come on. I will wear a Ravens jersey for that game if that's what it takes.
I'll wear it. Mahomes retires and still has an argument to be the GOAT.
100%. Hottest segment coming up here, outside of me the last 3 weeks. Hottest segment on the show. Colin's locks. 21-9. Again, if you are betting all of these, $100 a bet. You are up $1,384. I mean, just crazy. Crazy money you're winning if you're taking these. And you're lucky I'm not because I'm not. I forgot to mention real fast, I also put money on the Rams money line. And my betting this year has been horrible. So I did everything I could to jinx the Rams, and it worked beautifully. Colin, what do we got for locks this week? Let's hear them.
Unbelievable looking at it. We have more 3-0 weeks than we do 1-2 weeks. 0-0-3 weeks this year, so now we're due. Now we're due. I'm keeping the knocks off the wood. I am that confident. First one, we're keeping the same formula. Straight bet, teaser, money line parlay. Straight bet. I took them with the points. Give me the Bengals on the money line, minus 102. It's a game they must have. I do like them this week to win outright. Number 2 is the 5-point teaser. If you've been around here the last few weeks, it's been 2 and 3, so it's right there with contention. Last week disappointed us. First one, we're taking the Dolphins from 7.5 to 2.5. Love that under a field goal. We're taking Houston from 7.5 to 2.5. Love that by a field goal. And we're going to take Pittsburgh up from 3.5 to 8.5. I think this matchup, even if Pittsburgh doesn't win, I do like them to lose by 8 or less points and cover that 8.5 plus 180 for those 3 in that teaser. And the last one here, I've gone back and forth on what to label this. I have put a couple of names to moneyline parlays this year, but just give me the Aaron Rodgers parlay here. Give me the Jets on the money line at home against the Colts. Give me the Packers on the money line in Chicago against the Bears, plus 106 odds on that parlay.
Okay. Going with Jets money line.
The Colts are just that pissed.
They are really bad.
And this is what we talked about. This is a game the Jets, they have to have.
Yeah, I mean, if the NFL wants the Jets to stay relevant this season, which I'm sure they do, this is a game where they win, and all of a sudden the media is like, look at their schedule. One team with a winning record. Here they come.
Also, I didn't say
RELAX.
when we talked about the matchup between the Colts and the Jets this upcoming Sunday, but I'm going on the record right now. The Colts starting quarterback next year is going to be Aaron Rodgers.
No, he's going to be a Viking. Because that's the career path.
That is the career path.
That's
the Colts
career
are
path.
Like, hey, who's that 40?
Who's the old man, huh? Yeah, Derek Carr is a free agent.
Well, he's not that old, is he? He's
like
40.
He's up there.
He's 30-something.
He's up there.
He's like the Phillip Rivers age when he went there. Ish. Matt Ryan. Navy SEAL and Matt Ryan.
McAfee just reels in riders.
He does.
That would
He
be
could.
wicked.
That'd be crazy.
Bobby would be so
He wouldn't have to go far. He'd be in the Thunderdome every day.
Yeah, he would. He'd be right there in person. Addison, outrageous take time. What do you got for us this week?
Well, last week there was a kicker that missed 3 field goals, and I really hate his team. This week there's going to be another one, and the conversation is going to begin if he should be cut. It's going to be a tough one because he's a legend. Justin Tucker is going to miss 3 field goals, and one of those is going to be the game winner. And the Ravens are going to lose to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it's all going to be because of Tucker. And the conversation is going to have to start. Has he lost a step? Is this the guy we want kicking field goals in the playoffs because this is a team that could compete.
Yeah.
And Tucker's missed some easy ones. He hasn't in the clutch yet. I'll give him that. But this is where it starts. Misses a game winner, and I'm talking shanky poo. I'm talking shanky poo. And so a conversation begins. Is there a potential move? Who knows? But that's my outrageous take. Justin Tucker's washed.
I would like to add. I would like to add an outrageous take. That's not outrageous. Sage will be wearing the Justin Tucker jersey next week's podcast.
Yes, Will Tucker hits a game winner.
Calling it now.
Yeah, you probably
He goes 4 for 4 with a game winner.
I'll show up in eye black too. Everything. Helmet.
I will say, though,
He has been 2 and 6,
he
50
fucked
plus.
with Taylor Swift's boyfriend. He has been fucked as a kicker.
Not
But
nearly
not
as-
nearly as good. I mean,
No.
from all-time
Agreed.
best.
Yeah.
He's taking a step back.
Yeah.
Since he messed with the
15
black
of
magic.
19 this year.
Mess with the black magic of Taylor Swift and the Chiefs.
You know the Swifties cursed him.
You get what
They
you
tried.
get.
They tried.
So.
Triple X.
Gosh.
Oh, Triple X Tucker all weekend. We need Mike Martin here.
I'm sad now.
Sage. No,
All right.
Fantasy sleeper.
Got some fantasy sleepers. And you might remember throughout the year, keep in mind that these sleepers are not always great the first week I'm telling you to pick them up, right?
Very true.
A lot of these times, I'd throw out Tyrone Tracy
Yeah.
week 3.
Yeah,
Dude,
wow.
he is my perennial starter now at
Stud.
running back,
Stud.
right? Threw out J.K. Dobbins before the season started. Dude's on track for 1,100 yards, touchdowns almost every single week. You know, Tucker Kraft. Ask Nate how he's doing.
Yeah, he's been awesome.
He's been great for
Thank you
him,
very
right?
much.
K. Dotton, all this stuff.
Yeah, he's been
Keep
better
in mind, all these players, just stash them, you know? And if they have a good week, that first week, I love it, right? Number 1 right here, we're going to start with quarterback. I'm going to go with Drake May, all right? Drake May playing against the LA Rams, who have some holes on their defense, especially in that secondary, already mentioned. He's not afraid to take shots. What I'm excited about is his running potential.
Yep.
Man can escape from the pocket and get yards, all right? I'm expecting him to do this not only in the middle of the field, in the red zone, and score on the ground this week, all right? That's going to happen. For running back, I'm going to go little weird here. I'm going to go with Jerome Ford, all right, of the Browns, all right? The Browns are playing the New Orleans Saints. New Orleans Saints have a decent red zone defense. I think they're going to have to throw the ball a little more in that area, and I think Jerome Ford's going to be the one be coming out of the backfield. All right. When we're going to wide receiver, I'm picking up another one that I already said a few weeks back, and he even had another week last week. He's just not rostered as much as I think he should be, and that is Ricky Pearsall right there. All right. Scored his first NFL touchdown about 2.5 months after being shot in the chest.
Came back before McCaffrey.
Yeah, that's great.
Came back before McCaffrey. And I think he is just made to be a San Francisco 49er wide receiver. This man has everything that they're looking for. He is a crisper out runner. He has the speed. He has all the intangibles that they're looking for. And he looks like, honestly, if you could copy and paste, it looks like they have like 3 of those guys.
Yeah.
And in Ayuk, in Juwan Jennings, in Ricky Pearsall, they just keep finding the same guy that has that same kind of thing. And all of a sudden, they have a great offense. I think Ricky Pearsall is gonna thrive in this offense for years to come. And I think they shouldn't have paid Brandon Ayuk. I think they might be regretting that next year. As for tight end, I'm going to roll with Will Dissly this week. Will Dissly had a great game last week. I mean, it's hard to say Will Dissly's name and not laugh because he has like 3 great games every year. But tight end is obviously a mess in this year's fantasy landscape. And if you want a dart throw to roll with, Will Dissly is not a bad one, especially coming off the game he just had.
Love that.
I like it. That is all we've got for you guys this week as we are rolling right on into week 11 of the 2024 NFL season. Hopefully next week we're all a lot happier as all of our teams get shock wins, or at least get the win. You know, not shock maybe, but at least get the win. And probably next one's going to be on Zoom, so look live for that one. Also, first mock draft will be coming out soon as I've started playing with the simulator just a little bit, so look alive for that if you're into draft-related content. Spoiler alert, this draft class is not as good as last year's. Not as good as last year's. So that's all we've got for you guys today. Thanks for stopping by. Make sure if you're not already subscribed to hit that big red subscribe button at bottom. Comment. Let us know. Tell me how bad I am at Mortal Locks. It's hilarious. I'm 1-9. I don't know how that's even happened, honest to God. I mean, it's 50-50. I should be around 500. It's 50-50, and I'm 1-9.
Back through each moral lock and be like, where did you go wrong?
I know. I mean, even the first one, like my first one, I was like, Dolphins, Jags over. 2 really good offenses, over 47. They scored 37 points. It's like, oh, okay, I should have known right then I was cursed. I don't even know which one I won, honest to God. I'll find out. But that's all we've got for you guys. We'll see you all on the next one.
Peace.